Hi everybody, welcome to your New Moon, New You forecast. I'm recording this on Saturday, August 27th, but the energy that we're going to be looking at is going to help you out over the next couple of weeks. I also think that this is a great way to kick off September, so I wanted to create a specially crafted, shorter length video that will help you any point during the next week or so where you want to just hit the reset button and think, what should I be paying attention to? What should I be letting go of? All right, so without any further delay, let's take a look at the cards and see what's coming through in this moment in time. One last note, this is for everybody. This is a mini collective reading, if you will, because we're all experiencing the energy of the new moon. If you want sign-specific readings, they're all up on the channel, and you can take a look at them there. All right, let's get into the forecast. As we go into the new moon energy, it's all about learning. We have the mentor card in the catalyst position, and it's reminding us that during this period, either learning, teaching, or somehow expanding knowledge is going to do a couple of things for you. First and foremost, it's going to help with vitality, that feeling that you can't wait to get up in the morning, that you're really engaged. It's also an important part of why we're on this planet. We come here and it's sort of like a soul curriculum, if you will. We're supposed to learn, engage, and continue to expand and grow. So at any given age, doesn't matter if you are going to school, if you're mid-career, or if you're retired, you're always capable and actually engaged most when you are learning. So suffice it to say, anything that you want to do that is going to engage your mind is going to help quite a bit. It also signifies the end of a karmic cycle, which I've been picking up on some of the monthly readings. So as we look at the cards, we'll see if there's any messages around that. As we take a look at your center card, the Seven of Swords is coming through. If you look at the top, you'll see the word futility on this. And then we can see that feeling of not this again, or how do I get through this, or how did I get into this, basically, as that person's putting their head down. So let's break down how you can avoid this and how you can move through that sort of inner saboteur that is often the Seven of Swords. What happens is, it's basically the universe saying, it's time to get honest with yourself and it's time to be accountable. So if you want to make a big change in your life, but there's some part of you that isn't ready to let go, you need to do the work on that first. If there's a part of you that knows that it's a little overwhelming, or there might be a lack of preparation, rather than committing to something before you've done that, do the homework basically first and then make the commitment. That's the basic way that you can overcome this card. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can cause a reaction when you pull it in a spread. The universe is actually saying, I've laid out a path for you, but you have to be ready. So my first question to you is, are you ready? And now we're going to look at the cards and see what you can do to prepare and to resolve some of those issues that might be blocking you. The card that is crossing the Seven of Swords is the Six of Cups. On its own, the Six of Cups is one of the best cards you can pull in a relationship spread. It represents sometimes siblings, best friends. It can be a deep soul partnership, basically someone who should love you unconditionally. Because this card is crossing the Seven of Swords, what we're seeing here for some of you is a test of you being able to say no. So there could be someone that you're trying to win favor or approval from, and you may overcommit in order to impress them. This happens a lot when we have a boss, for instance. It could also be a friend that's trying to get you to hang out and you're tired and you need to rest, but you say yes anyway. So hold firm to what you need to do. An unconditional lover or friend or partner or best friend or teacher or boss is going to understand when there's a healthy limit and you can't do something. You're also going to be able to show up better in the long run by being able to keep your promises rather than overextend yourself. I see this as a win-win because you're going to be able to actually test a relationship a bit and see where you stand. If it's unconditional, that person's going to be there for you, and if it's not, then you're going to be able to see that and do something about that and decide, should I continue to invest time and energy? So either way, you're going to be informed and you're going to be better able to invest your energy, particularly when it comes to people in your life. Okay, let's look at your deep past. So in the deep past, we have the Queen of Wands. Many of you know this is one of my favorite cards to pull. Let's look at the card upright. What I love about this particular illustration is we see the fire, the energy, and the passion coming through loud and clear. The only thing that's missing here is a flower. Usually we see a flower growing in the desert and the queen on her throne. I like that there's an active queen in this particular illustration, which is saying this is a month where you're going to roll up your sleeves, you're going to get your hands dirty, and you're basically going to be a builder, not just a leader, in whatever it is that you want to do. When the Queen of Wands is reversed, it's also important to keep an open mind. Listen to what people have to say, research and look at what other best practices are out there. And when it comes to relationships, just try to open up a little bit and meet the person halfway, very close to the card that I was talking about this morning with the Three of Wands. Look for the positive, see something happening, and be willing to kind of bridge the gap between what you envision and what is currently happening in your life. This is where the Queen of Wands is really going to be powerful. In the recent past, we have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man asks us to slow down and to make intentional changes in our life. Basically, there's a reflective and contemplative piece to this that's saying, make sure that you are happy with where you are. How did you get here? How do you feel about where you're at? And before you set an intention for tomorrow, is this you simply playing the same record, or are you creating a new groove, a new path, a new opportunity where you're growing and expanding? Since the Catalyst card was all about that expansive energy, that's all the Hanged Man is asking you to do, is to be intentional, to slow down just long enough to make sure that this isn't you going on repeat, because we want to create some new cycles in your life. In the crowning position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is fantastic for creating growth, nurturing new things, birthing new things. So what we really see is once you have slowed down long enough to figure out, am I where I need to be? Is there anything that I need to do to change that? Once you've set the limits, which we saw at the center, and basically say no to things that don't make sense, you open up more abundance, you open up more resources, time and energy, so that you can experience growth, abundance, and even a little bit of independence here in this particular Queen of Pentacles. For those of you that have been waiting for things to change, look in the distance. You'll actually see an oasis. This is a symbol that if there's been a lack of something that you've been looking for, love, money, time, energy, support, this particular new moon energy is saying, we're done with that now. That lesson has been released. And you can say that to the universe. Thank you for teaching me. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I no longer need to learn this way. I'm ready now to experience love, abundance, and joy in the highest forms. Moving on to the next card, we have a change in perspective. In the Five of Cups, there's always a hidden Two of Cups. Two of Cups in tarot is love. It's support. It's a great thing, basically. And this card is reminding you to look at the sunny side, look at the silver lining, to understand that yes, there's been some challenges. We all go through them. But in this moment in time and in this new moon, you're being presented with potentially a new friendship or relationship or opportunity on the horizon that's going to help you reset. The only thing that I'm seeing for many of you is this sense that you're being tapped out by the people that you love the most. And so for some of you, maybe you're just hanging out too much, too many late nights. It could also be a family that's asking a lot of you. So a common theme that I'm picking up on is just saying, I need to go now, or enough is enough, or this is too much. And it's hard to put those limits out there, but it's a sign of maturity. It's something that all of us are willing to accept when we go out in the world. There are certain things that we have to do just to sort of like follow the rules of engagement. There's no exception here. So the good news is, with all of these beautiful friendship and love cards, by the way, this is a good month for love, and we'll talk about that in a second. But when you have energy like Six of Cups and Ten of Cups, it actually gives you a bit of the upper hand. People want to be with you, so they're willing to deal with the limits and the time constraints that you might need to put on that engagement. So as we take a look at love, since I said I was going to look at that briefly, you have two of the best cards here, the Six of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Six of Cups just in a crossing position, so ostensibly upright, which is great. So this is saying someone from the past, someone with whom you have a really great connection with, possibly even a past life connection. What's tarnishing this a bit is a experience that you had in the past with trust. And I don't necessarily see the trust entering into the future. So it's a wound from the past that requires a little bit of work, trusting that someone cares enough about you to ask you out, or trusting their energy, like, can you be with them? Will they hurt you? So some of you have that sort of fear from the past, but it's showing up just as a fear. The good news here is that we see someone that's ready to get serious pretty quickly. So if you are single and looking, I actually like what I'm seeing. If you're in a relationship, you're dealing with some deeper trust issues and some honesty issues. But the good news here is it feels like you can get through that. It's just about opening up. I'm not seeing enough communication cards here. So speaking what's on your mind is going to be so important, whether it's old or existing or brand new. You need to be able to express what's on your mind, your hopes, your fears, your desires especially. Okay, let's move on now to the environment. We have a card of movement and completion actually too. This 10 of Wands is fantastic because she's balancing that load of wands on her head with great ease. Usually you see the person kind of doubling over, feeling like they're overwhelmed. So the good news for you is once you get through a few of these initial issues of perspective, possibly trust, just accountability with yourself, everything starts to go swimmingly. You have a lot of popularity this month that's coming in, a lot of attention shining on you, and that's great. So if you can kind of bring that into your space a little bit and see how far it can go, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is a card of travel and expansion and completion. So all of these things are opening up in this new moon for you. When we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, you're just wondering, can I do it all? The answer is yes. 8 of Wands is absolutely a card of sustaining. Sometimes you feel like I'm juggling a lot, or can my voice still be heard? Yes, it can. This is a community card, believe it or not, so all you have to do is reach out and ask for some help around you. You are controlling the flow, basically, of what's going on, and we see that here. She's kind of pushing back a little bit on how much she's willing to do, and we're going from the 10 to the 8. One thing that I like to remind people of in Wands is you can subtract, do a little bit less, but do it better, and you still have a really positive outcome or result. So don't be afraid to delegate, to say no. This is your common theme right now. And just do something with your full heart, your full energy, and your full attention. And to close this spread, we have the Hermit card. The Hermit is wise beyond anyone's understanding sometimes. The question here is, how much is enough? We are looking at this Hermit with not just a lantern, but in this case, an hourglass. There is a certain amount of time that any of us should put on researching or editing or reading. At a certain point, it's time to put it to practice. This new moon is a chance for you to take that first step out there, and there's so much energy around people and community that I feel like you're going to have a lot of support and a lot of luck in doing so. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And if people come to you, there could be something really positive coming from that ability to nurture or to mentor them as well. Overall, I'm loving the energy of the new moon for you. And I really like how a change in perspective and a realization of your own star power, which is always what the Hermit reminds us of, could shift everything into a really, really great trajectory, particularly this ability to do more than you thought you could do. Overall, I'm really loving what I saw here with the energy of the new moon for you. Remember to slow down, be intentional, have the proper limits that you need. And if you do these sort of things, you're going to open up all of these great energies that we saw in the environment and the opportunity space. Good luck in the next week or two. Keep me posted on how everything works for you. Before we wrap up, just a reminder, if you enjoyed this in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, and also share this. All of these forms of engagement help this basically be served up to the algorithm of YouTube, so I appreciate that. I'd also love for you to follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, except for Twitter, which is @Ashbaugh. And remember that if anyone ever reaches out and claims to offer a product or service, that's not me. I don't use direct messages, and I don't offer private readings. Also, I don't have any backup accounts. These are all things that imposters will say on social media. So I try to put that in every video just to kind of help everyone out. So basically, thank you so much for your support. You can hit the thanks button below as well and give back if you'd like to. Otherwise, I'd love for you to join me throughout the week. Here's my schedule. Every Sunday, I do a collective. Every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I do a monthly live. And every single day, I do a daily video in the shorts area. So if you enjoy any of this, let me know again in the comments below. And until I see you again, take care of yourself. Have a beautiful day. Much love and light.